Today's project is part one of a multi-phaser. Downs Construction here, your one-stop shop for all things construction. This is going to be a multi-phaser. It's going to start with removing this door, blocking in the doorway, tearing down a deck, putting in a paver patio, putting in a large outdoor pool, outdoor living space, etc. So first things first, let's turn our attention to completely removing this doorway. Don't worry guys, there is access elsewhere in the home. This has to go because it's underneath the deck. That deck's being torn out. This is going to be filled in a huge paver patio, outdoor living space. It's going to be right here. First things first, it's time to block it back in. We have to get our drill. We're drilling our holes. We're cutting our rebar that's going to be epoxied into the existing footing. And we're going to run it across every other course to lock in the blockway so you can't just push the doorway in. This is for strength. We're making our U-blocks. There was none available for purchase, so don't let that stop you. We make our own. Here you see how the bar sits completely through the block, and it doesn't make the block be hidden or out of square at a plumb. Now we're plumb leveling and squaring as we run the wall. We're using type M mortar as we run up. You see we have our vertical bars, our horizontal bars, all number 4s. We run the vertical all the way up. We run the horizontal every other course. We use our type M, which is M masonry mortar, and we mix sand and water. We also have an acrylic fortifier in the mix for reinforcement. Now we're continuing to lay our block. We're also filling our block completely solid with concrete. So our bars are epoxied in all the way down. We then fill all the way in with concrete. We then overlap the bars once we get to the top. We make sure there's at least 2 foot of overlap on these bars. Now we're getting to the top. As you can see, we're doing our joints as we lay our block. This is one of those projects you must block in the entire doorway the same day that you take it out. You can't leave it open and exposed to the elements. You don't want animals or weather getting in. As you can see, we're well into darkness now, but we're getting our scratch coat of plaster on. Once we get the scratch coat of plaster on, we can get out of here and we can finish what we have to in the morning when we can actually see in daylight. Here you can see our block is completely done and jointed. Now we're measuring out for our 2x4 studs that we're going to have to frame a bit of a way we don't usually like. We have to frame them on a flat instead of on an edge like we usually do. Then we're going to just be putting in a little bit of insulation the way they've done it before. Now this is not exactly the ideal way, but you deal with it how you have to. We're stuffing in our R15 insulation. Usually we'd be using a foam board here, but it is what it is. Now we're squeezing in the rest of our cement. This is our type M cement, filling this completely solid where we can. Then we're going to be putting in some concrete. Then we're going to be plastering entirely over. We're going to be scratching and doing this is 2 coats, but we'll be finishing above grade. Below grade, we will be using a foundation coating or a tar. Now here's the inside that is sheetrocked in with 3 coats of sheetrock. It's spackled and sanded. Here is our tar. We're tarring up just to where what grade height will be. Here's our finished look. Thanks for watching.